Hey y'all, it's Renegayde, and it's time to spill more Reali-Tea on all things Drag Race Philippines. The ultimate Battle Royale is coming, so make sure you like and subscribe for more, as you're not going to want to miss a single drop of content this season when it begins this Wednesday, August 13th. On this episode, we'll be doing a deep dive into the highly anticipated cast of the Slaysian Royale, which pits 5 of the best Pinoy queens against 7 international contenders of Asian lineage in a monumental competition where culture, pride, and drag excellence collide. But before we begin, let me introduce my co-host, and this season he's ready to slay a kala la la la. It's QuackrrJack!
Hey!
Jack,
I'm here. I'm ready.
I gotta ask, are you ready to pop off Ate? Are you ready for this Slaysian Royale?
I am ready to pop off Ate.
Honestly,
It's what I've been listening to recently, actually.
I told you it's so much better than the Papaca.
I did not say it was better. I just said I've been listening to a lot. I also have been listening to the Papacock, so I don't know why you would say better, because I think we can just enjoy both of them and not have to compare them.
Okay,
That's
we
really
won't
fun.
compare on this podcast, because on this podcast, I think we're just here to celebrate all things Drag Race Philippines here. And before we kind of talk about that, I kind of want to get to the fact that we've been in a drought like all year, right, for Drag Race content. We've only had the Americans content to kind of go off of here. But doesn't it kind of feel good that we're back in the days here where we have a bunch of franchises going on at once here? When we have France All Stars, Brazil 2, and now Slaysian Royale coming here.
I mean, I'm excited for everything because, like, first of all, France has been great. Brazil has been great. Like, the Slaysian Royale happening, you know, Philippine drag is like one of my favorite of the franchises, I think. Like the Philippines drag race is one of the best drag races, easily top 3. It should be everyone's top 3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we're gonna host it there, and this is like one of the first times we had like a situation where we've had international girls technically all together, right? And it's not being hosted by RuPaul. So it's kind of like this second take almost. It's not exactly versus the world or anything, but it's the Slaysian Royale. So we get to see like specifically people in their culture representing and really giving us their love and their pride for themselves, and hopefully without as much rigging going on. So let's just hope and pray for that.
Yeah, we could only hope that Mama Pao is not going to follow in Rue's footsteps. But you do bring up a good, interesting point here, because, like you said, this is sort of versus the world esque, but it's kind of like in a very different kind of way because everybody has the cultural significance in common, which I think is just really cool. It's something that I don't think that we can really do in America, you know? So
Oh, definitely not.
it feels like a very interesting concept, and I'm very looking forward to this. I think this could be my most anticipated season of this year. But do you kind of like the fact that they decided to go with the versus the world format kind of situation here versus just doing a full on all stars like France just did this season?
Oh, 100%, 100%. The going for a kind of versus the world vibe where they're giving us girls from just the Philippines is like such a great idea because A, that means we can pull from other groups of drag race contestants, and B, that means like more people can come back that haven't really had a chance because honestly, we haven't had a lot of Asian representation in a lot of the All Stars or a lot of the UK versus the Worlds when you really look at it. So it's kind of exciting that we're getting this.
Hmm. I mean, honestly, we could probably again, we could definitely have a extremely talented cast of just Filipino queens on their own. But I do think you bring up a great point here is the fact that a lot of these international queens, especially in a lot of these other franchises here, they've definitely been, unfortunately, I would say that girl that generally kind of gets, I feel like, used in a way to kind of just be, somebody on a list that they need to kind of take off, a box there, and then they end up discarding them. With the fact that everybody on this cast is, of the same descent here, we're not going to have to worry about them, like how in Drag Race UK, like for some reason in Asian queen always goes home during snatch game kind of thing, the
Yeah.
fact that we really only get maybe one each season other than UK6, I think is the only season in relatively early memory that I can even remember here that had multiple queens of Asian descent. I think this is really kind of a really cool and powerful statement that they decided to do this. Um, but it does bring up one thing here that I do have to ask. Because again, like I said, when we're looking at like the versus the world franchises and things like that, right? We definitely kind of go in kind of expecting that the host country is probably going to have the advantage here. And if we're looking at the cast numbers wise, yeah, okay, we do have 5 Filipino queens compared to 7 international queens. But if we look at like just kind of the overall standings, and we're kind of going to break it down here in a little bit when we get to each individual queen, the girls collectively from the Philippines have had way more competition experience on the show than any of these international girls. I'm pretty sure that every single one of these Filipino queens have gone further than any of the international counterparts on their own season. So I do have to wonder, is this going to be a situation where maybe we're going to end up with a Filipino winner? Because I'm kind of expecting a queen from the Philippines to kind of take it just based off of who's been invited back here. Do you think that's going to be a problem here this season, or do we expect that maybe what's going to happen here will be a little bit more natural?
Well, I'm hoping things are going to be more natural, but I do see that as like an issue. But as a counterpoint to that, like not trying to say anything negative about any of the girls, because we've seen girls go home early and come back and win or almost win the crown in ways we didn't expect. Look at Kylie Sonique. She went out, I believe, what, fourth on her season, and then came back and won the crown.
Hmm.
So that's like always a possibility. But the other thing we have to keep in mind is not many, as you were mentioning, not many of the Asian queens have necessarily gotten like a great run on the show in the other franchises, and some of it feels a little sabotagey, right? Like, so it would be hard for us to grab like only girls who had made almost the finale or made the finale themselves, right? Especially depending on if any of them were taken for a recent All-Star season or if they had any other projects in the works during the filming of this. So
Hmm.
there's something there to consider. I think the lowest place Filipino queen was seventh place, I want to say, Viñas DeLuxe. So she, I think, ties with what Siam Phusri, right?
I
And
mean,
I
technically,
don't
but
remember
I
what
do think
else.
that if we look at the actual stats on it, well, I mean, it doesn't mean that much, but technically there were more queens on uh, season one of Philippines than there were in Thailand 3. So I do think that Phineas does have a little bit of an advantage, even though they technically had the same place. I would count her as like, out of 12, a little bit more than out of 11. But,
Yeah,
I do see him on, I mean, we'll kind of break it down here in a little bit. Um, about all that, but I do kind of see what you're saying here. There's definitely potential, and I'm not gonna go into this expecting anything too crazy to go on here, but um, I do at least feel like we're in good hands because have you seen the list for the guest judges of this season here, Jack?
oh
Because
my god,
I
the
think this is the
guest
first
judges.
time we have a guest judge panel entirely of previous queens. So it's literally like they have some of the best mentors I think that they could ask for. Like Alyssa Edwards, Sasha Colby, Nymphia Wind, Maxi, Marina Summers, just to name a few of them. Like, uh, I'm so excited for them alone, honestly.
I think when we're looking at the panel, one of the best parts is it's people who have the experience that the girls have. And maybe they don't necessarily get to be there and like help them out during the challenges, but on the runway the critiques could mean a lot. Like the girls who have done this already, who've either had those failures, those successes, have done these challenges before, may be able to really open up the girls' eyes to like how to do well in drag race, because drag race is its own separate entity. It's not like you're a bad drag queen if you don't do well at drag race, right? So it's kind of like figuring out that formula of like what makes you a good drag race queen.
Hmm. You could definitely be a very good drag race queen or drag queen without having to do drag race. Looking at you, Joella, who's talking about local queens. But anyway, that's another podcast. But
Oh,
yeah, these are some amazing mentorship here that they have here, and God bless her soul, Jiggly. Rest in peace there. At least she's her. We know her spot in the panel. Is gonna be filled well here. So. Um, that being said, here, let's go ahead and talk about the cast specifically. And first off, let's talk about this promo because they're definitely invoking all things Mortal Kombat for this. And I was just saying that Drag Race France All Stars was my favorite promo, possibly, like, of the most recent memory. I think this could be my new favorite promo. Just because, like, I'm a sucker for the Mortal Kombat theme. I'm sorry. My only issue here is why was uh, Khianna not um, what's her name again? Katana again. Why did she not call this like high class Katana? Don't get it. Anyways, Jack, did you love this concept as much as I did?
oh yeah, I was living for this whole thing. I love that the girls were like, not only am I going to do this like Mortal Kombat warrior theme, I'm also going to. A lot of them chose to go with like their culture specifically and what like a warrior may somewhat look like or traditional possibilities or interpretations of warriors. So it was very fun to see everyone have these like different ideas. And yes, some were better than others. Obviously, that's always going to happen. But it was so fun to see all these girls, even like the girls who I ranked at the bottom. Like none of them have a bad outfit, right? None of them have like a terrible outfit. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really fun,
I
and
mean,
it kind of screams like strength specifically. So you're kind of like, oh,
mhm.
I love this. I love that we're like pushing this up further. Like we're really making this a big deal.
One of the queens was saying it on the Meet the Queens, and I can't remember who. But the fact that, like I said, they're bringing a bunch of queens from, all of these different Asian cultures together, like it just goes to show, just based off the promo, like yes, they all are the blanket of being Asian, but they're all so unique still. My only negative here is I wish they would have got, like, because you know how obviously like one or two of the girls were inspired by Raiden clearly, in the Mortal Kombat here. I kind of wish a
Yeah.
few more of them had random like inspirations that they had to do, because I would love to see like a random Sonya Blade or a Johnny Cage or someone doing some Jack's
Well,
arms. Okay, that was going too
I
far.
feel like you definitely wanted to go with the non-Asian in Mortal Kombat. You were
I
like, I'm
know.
going to go with every single
I
non-Asian Mortal Kombat character that exists, and I was like,
okay, Liu
wow,
Kang.
you were really like, let me just
Shao
not talk about
Kahn.
anyone, and I was like, what?
You're
And
hateful.
there are
Anyway,
so many good looks, but also I would not want to see like. If your choice is Sonya Blade as your first one, I'm gonna need you to pack it up, baby. Slaysian Royale ain't for you.
just
Like, love
imagine
her,
Suki Doll,
but
Sonya Blade. Done.
oh no. No, I don't want to. There's so many better choices. No offense, like Sonya's great. This is not that.
All right.
Not
Well,
Scarlett Johansson.
ooh, 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 don't talk about Black Widow like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and we could dive into this cast here, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna split them up, based on Philippines versus the world, just because that's just how I like to kind of do it here. So we're gonna start off with our Filipino queens here first, which means up to the bat first. Well, actually, they were gonna be up here first, regardless, honestly, because of the name. We got Arizona Brandy, runner up from season 2 of the Philippines. She has one win in the girl group challenge, and she had two bottoms during her season, one during the design challenge, one during the music video. And she's, again, one of two runner ups this season. And she's definitely, I would say, probably in the running to be the comedy queen of the season. You could definitely tell she's was in her element. She was feeling herself during uh, the video. She was very much so, I would say, on some Arizona Brandy herself. But she said that she liked to vape a lot and smoke a lot beforehand. That was her brand. And you know what? She's going to vape more and she's going to drink more. So if that's the case, I can only imagine what she could possibly be eating this season, because obviously she's known for eating her contact lens in the middle of her lip sync. Um, so I could only imagine what Arizona has in store for us this season, and she definitely comes in with one of my favorite and looks here with the whole Raiden inspired thing here. It's obviously not Raiden inspired completely. I mean, just because we have the hat doesn't make it Raiden inspired, but I mean, like she's definitely going with, I would say, a theme that kind of invokes God for me, goddess of just everything opulent and amazing. And there's a little bit of metallic to it. Like she's giving me like some metallic warrior. It's kind of like I would say a cross between like Raiden and Katana with the fans, right? Um, so I would say as far as fashion goes, that's probably the one thing that she needed to work on most during her season. But if her promo look is anything to say, I think Arizona could definitely be one of the front runners this season for sure. Just I mean, just based off placement alone. But that's kind of my thoughts here on Miss Arizona Brandy Jack. What are your thoughts here on Arizona?
I think Arizona Brandy, honestly, she kind of gets looked over sometimes when we're talking about queens that have really made it far in the competition, and being the fact that she made it to as like a finalist of her season. It says a lot about her because I don't hear her name enough, and so I was so excited to see her back, especially with this look. This is one of my favorite looks. I was all about it. I had such a hard time placing this. I had a hard time placing my top five because I just thought everyone was doing such a great job, and I was like, I don't even know where to start with. Like, I knew who my number one and was probably going to be. I just didn't know where to go from there. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited because she had so much time. Like you mentioned, her biggest issue really was the fashion. It's been a while since she's been on the show. We see her fashion. If this is the representation of what her package of fashion is going to be like on the show, then she's going to be set there. And if she's only gotten better throughout the years, she is a definite shoe-in for a top four placement if they do a top four or top three or whatever they choose.
Mhm.
In my mind, anyways.
No, I feel you completely. I wasn't necessarily. I won't say she's necessarily someone I'm completely rooting for 100%, but there is kind of like a without a. I don't know any other queen that I can kind of better compare this to, but like an Aquarius C. Davenport kind of vibe, to her where
Oh,
she goes far, but she doesn't get talked a lot about. You know what I mean?
yeah, I can see
So
that.
I could see her being someone that goes very, very deep into this competition and wins, but I could also kind of see her maybe being someone that is not necessarily production's choice per se. That they won't necessarily push her in certain ways. But yeah, I would love to see this be a situation where Arizona is kind of able to break out, and I definitely think she has everything in her arsenal, especially if this promo is anything to judge off of to do so. So yeah, that's Miss Arizona Brandy here. Let's talk about our second queen here on our list here of amazing Philippine queens here, who is honestly probably my choice for the winner of season two, and that is Bernie. She was our third, fourth tied runner up. Or third runner up, second runner up from season two. I forget who she lost to her lip sync to, if she lost to Cat Cat or if she lost to Arizona.
I
Jack,
believe
look
she
that up.
lost a cat.
Okay, okay. Well, that's not bad, I guess, losing to the eventual winner there. But she does
Well, spoilers.
have, she has two Maxi Challenge wins here. So she was the winner of the Girl Group and the Makeover Challenge. She has one bottom in the Branding Advert Challenge. And she likes to say she's one of the most beautiful Pinoy queens. And, that's according to her. But according to me, I would agree too. I feel like she's only gotten more beautiful. I think since her season, since she's gotten more confident. I think in herself, her drag. She's one of the three openly trans queen contestants on her season, which is still, I believe, to date, the highest that we've had in any season of openly trans queens, which made me still fall in love with her and the other two girls that were on that list there. I think she's really known for having a high track record, as well as the fact that she did have a very touching story throughout her season where she was telling us a lot about the fact that she was dealing with the fact that she was legally blind in her left eye. And I think we found out um, after the fact, after her season, she has gone and underwent the surgery in 2023. So it sounds like this could all be behind her, allowing her to focus even more on slaying the competition. And I will say she didn't seem as comfortable with her English as the other girls did. She definitely talked a lot more, a lot less English than a lot of the other girls. But I don't necessarily think that's going to hinder her. Philippines is also is one of those franchises where you could kind of, you know, get away with doing both. And I think it might be a situation where if it comes down to like how they're eliminating girls, it could hinder her communication with, you know, some of the girls that don't know um, anything outside of English. Just really, so just some Ting Wong, maybe. Honestly, I
Oh,
don't know. But you know, like as far as everything goes, though, like Bernie, I think is one of my favorites. Absolutely, to not only go deep in this competition, but to win. I love her style. I love her aesthetic. She says her brand is opulence and glamour, and honestly, that's what she serves here for me. I do love her promo look. It's a little bit on the like I do wish there was a little bit more detail to it, I would say. But as far as like what she's wearing, it's kind of giving me like if Georges was to, you know, give me a high class warrior look. That's kind of what she's giving, like very much so like Wonder Woman. Let me show a lot of body, a lot of skin, which I'm not hating because again,
nice.
that is her brand. So I love what she's giving here. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily my most favorite promo look, but I do love what she's giving here. And again, Bernie is someone I think we all need to watch out for this season. So, Jack, what are your thoughts here on this Bernie?
Now, Miss Bernie, this is what I say. Miss Bernie was not someone when I originally was watching the season in the first couple episodes I was really rooting for, but she grew on me so fast. I was like, I don't know. And then she just was so talented the whole time. I could not believe. I was like, damn, Bernie really proved me wrong. And I love when a girl does that. When a girl gives me more than what I was expecting from her, one of my favorite things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see her back. I definitely would put her in my top two or three, honestly, very easily. I definitely would put her in my top four if I have to do one of those rankings. She's going to be there. I assume it's between her and probably one other girl. Honestly, if I had to guess who was going to win this season, and I'm excited because first of all, I love seeing Bernie back because, like I told you, she grew on me. She did a great job on her original season. I can't imagine her not doing a great job here. She's gonna have the look. She was so smart on the runway at times, especially on her season. I'll never forget that like kind of cheap fringe outfit she put together that had me gagged because it's like this is so smart. It's so big, it's so light, and like just for the suitcases alone and thinking about it, I was so happy. So I have nothing bad to say about her. I agree with you. I'm glad you brought it up though with her look. It's very good. There is a slight simpleness to it. Specifically, I think with the cape and the cloth in front of her, that could be a bit more detailed. But this look was one of my faves. I did put it right below Arizona though because of little less detail and a little less going on in the body, but still one of my top looks. I loved all the straps on the shoe. I thought that was so fun, and it really mixed together this element of like the white silver with the gold, and I love a high ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was drag. I was here for it. She looks so good. I can't wait to see also in her promo look having like I'm not exactly sure who that is, but having the head of a man that she essentially beheaded was so good.
Well, you know, you would like that specifically, Jack. I bet you wish it was
I was
Riley from Big Brother, huh?
I
Oop,
said beheaded, you stupid. Anyways,
oop, 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 oop. Yeah. Anyways, let's go. We could move on to our next queen here, and we have the one and only Miss Brigading Ding Ding from season one of RuPaul's Drag Race, or sorry, not RuPaul's Drag Race, Philippines
oop,
Drag Race. And she's a fun pick here for me because I feel like she was always a like it's a big character. I would like to say like because she was that kind of queen that she always kind of talked a big game, but then when it came down to it, she never won anything. She actually had three bottoms, and I think that was why she kind of stood out because it was like a kind of a harrowing story to some degree to have a girl who comes in with that big of a reputation that she had and expectations that she put on herself, and then to see her not only not really do well but constantly have to be fighting to stay in. It was kind of an interesting story to some degree here. But Brigiding was in the bottom here for pretty much both of the acting challenges. They had an improv challenge and snatch game. She was the bottom for that. She was also bottom in the makeover challenge. But she's ready. She's ready to say that she's learned something from her previous experience, which is I hope she did. I hope she did, girl. I hope she did. She said that last season. There's something that actually really stuck out to me that I thought was a very important thing that she mentioned is that she was playing not to lose the first time, and now this time she's playing to win. So I'm like, okay, I feel that. I feel that sometimes when you go into these situations, when you're like, sometimes the prize is just getting on the show, right? So you might not be like in the mindset to win 100%, but then like you snap out of it. You have your parvati moment where it's like you went on your first season, you decided to get naked in the hot tub, and then the second season you decided to come back. You're like, okay, now I'm going to play the game, and then you come back and you blow everybody out of the water. And I could honestly see that kind of trajectory for Brigiding, but also kind of based off of her inconsistencies in her first season, I could kind of see maybe her being the first queen of the Philippine queens to go as well. Um, I do
Nice.
like her look though in certain aspects. Um, it is the bodice part, the middle part for me is a little bit simple again. She's giving me a little bit kind of like what Bernie was giving me, but I love the headpiece and I love the staff. I just don't. Did she bring the staff with her? Did she actually is that a prop the team gave her? She probably brought it because I'm assuming it's the same. It has the same kind of motion as like the sun piece in her headset. So yeah, I mean I like this look, but I definitely think it's a little again a little on the simple side. I'd say I would put it if we were ranking it based off your rankings here. This would be probably right below Bernie for me.
That's exactly where I put her, actually. Literally
Ooh,
right below Bernie.
ooh, ooh.
Um, she is she's someone who I kind of agree with you. I could see her being either a good choice to be an unexpected person who goes far or a first boot of the Philippine queens, because I don't see a Philippine queen going home before the first episode, if I'm being honest, or before the third episode. I
I'd
think
almost would say top
we'll.
four episodes.
Well, that's fair. I just see like most of the Philippine queens going a really long time, and
Uh-huh.
maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But I would assume that Brigiding is going to Brigading it to the competition. She didn't do poorly in her original run. She just never seized a win, but she stayed in for a really long time. So I mean, there's a lot there, and maybe she had too much on her mind, like you said, giving herself too much what's the word, pressure. We'll have to see what she brings. As far as her outfit though goes, I kind of agree. I liked the shoulder pieces. I kind of like the middle part, but there's I guess the shape of the curve on the bottom thing just was a little strange, especially with how it curved down on the sides and up on the sides on the bottom section. So there's just almost like a circle creating of her stomach in there.
Hmm.
And also, I hated the shoe. I hated the shoe. I was like, I know it's new and it
Hmm.
almost looks like you don't have shoes on, but I just hated the shoe so much.
I kind
It
of don't
wasn't
like
doing
that we could
anything.
see her panties in this promo.
Well, I mean, there
Like,
is
it don't
that
bother me
too.
that much, but that kind of it does kind of bother me a little bit. That I'm like,
It's
why?
one of those small
Why do
like
we see her
details. Like
panties?
that's how you like up the look, is like you have to really look into those details.
It's just
And
yeah, it's a
so,
small thing, but
but I mean, it's a big deal. Like if it imagine if it was like a black panty though, that would be terrible.
Well, thankfully she's not Sasha Bell. She hasn't cracked the code to Drag Race, so thankfully she
No.
didn't wear a black undergarment for it. But
Right.
yeah, I think we're kind of, she definitely feels like one of the more up or down kind of people from the Philippines here that
It's
we have here.
hard to
So
know how she's going to perform, specifically her.
absolutely. One queen I think that there is, at least for me, no question how she going to perform here. Because I think she could possibly be my winner pick going into this season, and that is Miss Khianna. Fresh off of season 3 of Philippines, she's the runner up. She won one challenge in her season, which I think was the very first challenge, the TikTok advert challenge they had to do. She was in the bottom once for the makeover, but she is, oh my god, she has some of the best looks of anyone from season 3 of Drag Race with of Philippines of any season, honestly. Um, the fact that I feel like our video for best looks of season 3 were like made up of 3 queens and she was one of them. I think goes to say a lot that like is when it comes to I like a weak point here. I don't know what to really say what her weak point is. Like it easily could have been a situation where she could have been double crowned with Maxi just based off of pure talent. I think she's really kind of. I can only really see her being here with for the only reason to just kind of, without a better way to say it, Chad Michaels, and let's make a season and give Khianna the win too, right? Like I just don't know. Like I really don't have too much to say because like I feel like everything she did spoke for itself. Her talent, she was one of the highest, the most consistent queens from season 3. So it's just I'm just very excited to see her on the season. And like this promo look, I think this is my favorite promo look too. I don't know if I'm just standing Khianna here, but she's I don't even know what inspired this look, honestly, because it's giving me a lot of different inspirations. But that's also kind of what her brand is too, is that she takes a lot of different um, inspirations, a lot of different concepts, kind of throws them together at one. Like this is not only giving me like tribal with like the headpiece, but then like the bodice is also kind of giving me a little like Marie Antoinette a little bit too, but then also has like also like that kimono flair to it too. Like there's just so many different interesting concepts that are going on here that I don't know if I understand it completely, but I like everything that I'm seeing, if that makes sense. I don't have any complaints at all whatsoever. So I think a lot of that might be just personal bias. I don't know, but for me, Khianna is just she's that girl. She is that girl. Like I said, her and Maxie could have been double crowned last season, as far as I'm concerned, and I would have been completely fine with it. So, if this is a situation we're in where we're making a season so Chad Michaels can get the win before she dies, then let's get Khianna that win before she passes away.
Damn. That's messed up. Um, Personally, I love Khianna. She is my go-to winner pick. It's between her and Bernie in my mind, and I think Khianna is the one to watch out for. I think she is the one girl that you need to watch out for the most. I think her outfit was the best outfit of all of them. I loved almost every single aspect of this outfit that she wore. I loved the huge headpiece. I loved it, like intersecting with this mask, the huge hair to hold up it. I love that she had these different colors and these knee-high boots that just had these cool patterns on them that were also like 8 inches off the ground or whatever that is. Like there were so many good things about this. You know, if there's one thing from Khianna that I'm never gonna really know, it's what she's gonna bring to the runway because she always does something so different every time. And I love that her mind is so creative and she has these different ideas. And these prints that she had on her bodice, like corset area, and her her shoes matching was just it was so good to me. I was like, wow, this is really like I'm gonna show you excellence. I'm not just coming to the Slaysian Royale to show off who I am. I'm coming here to slay. And I was like, this queen is, maybe she hasn't had much time since she's been off the show, but she's someone to be reckoned with, I believe.
I don't think she needed the time. I don't think the time mattered. She's one of those girls that I think is already a full package. You know, it's very Saphira Crystal. Like, what more does she really have to show to prove to you that she's a winner, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think we're both kind of on the same page here about Miss Khianna here with a K. She's gonna slay. So, be on the lookout for her. Our next queen here. And not to, again, diminish anybody else on this cast here after talking so highly about a couple of these queens here. We do have Miss Viñas DeLuxe from season 1. She's 7th place. Again, she is out of all of the Philippine queens here. She is the one that has the technical lowest rating here. But I still don't think that means that she's not as talented as these other girls here. Especially from watching Papa Fate multiple times here. Definitely has, I would say, probably the voice of this cast, easily. Definitely one of the best singers in anybody on almost any franchise. I'd probably put her like top 20 for sure out of probably all the Rue girls as far as her voice goes. It sounds like a recording. Um, and she did do really well on her season too. She did get a win in the design challenge, but it also kind of weird that her bottom was in the ball. You'd kind of expect, if you did well in the design, you would do well in the ball too. But she's one of those rare occurrences. I don't even know if that actually has happened off the top of my head to anybody else. I can't think of anybody else that won a design and lost the ball, or vice versa. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, as far as everything goes here, look wise, Vinyas is one of my favorite looks here. I don't know if I can necessarily put her above any of the other girl. I no, actually, I personally, I would probably put her above Brigiding. Personally, I really love this uh, combination that she has going on here with the black and the gold. Really love that. I love the fact that there's so many gold details on her bodice. I love the fact that there's like the weird, like triple kind of, what is it? The hip pad thing. I don't know what it's called. But I think that's a lot of fun. Um, Again, don't know if she was given these props or not, but the shield looks really cool. I think it really matches her outfit. It's really pretty. I kind of have an affinity more towards black and gold. I think a little bit more. So I think I probably would put her above Brigiding, below Bernie.
So interesting you said that. I did not place her there. I placed her about 6th or 7th. So right in the middle of the pack. And I love this outfit, don't get me wrong. I think I just noticed a few things that weren't exactly everything that I wanted. One, the scrunch kind of in her leather boots. I wasn't a huge fan of how they were coming off in the images.
Fair.
And the shield and the sword were very edited. So I kind of like took these ideas out. If they were edited like this to be so good, I really went into their interviews to like look at how they looked. I felt like some of the choices with the fabric could have been better because it started to look a little, and I love gaudy things, but it started to look almost cheap gaudy.
Ooh.
I loved her hairdress, loved her hair, loved everything that's going on, like her neck up, and I really like what's going um, on the cloth, the loincloth, the kind of thing that she has in front. But when I started to look closer on the details of everything, I was like, something with this pattern, or this, not this pattern, this fabric being so muted and being so, it almost became bland in a way. And it just made everything kind of look a little bit less expensive. Like the gold pieces started to look more plasticky. And when I really looked at it, I was like, it just doesn't give like as regal as like her headpiece. Who she looks like she was literally a queen, and that's her like crown. And so she's still ranked high as far as like being in the middle at number like 6 or 7 is still pretty good, especially when we saw who else was in this cast. Like no one did a bad job. I just had to place her a little bit lower, but honestly, I'm excited to see her. I think this is the one girl who I think is like going to have a quote unquote redemption story in a way. I think that could be her kind of storyline, at least in the Slaysian Royale. I think that she wants to prove to people that she's not just a middle place kind of girl. I think she wants to prove that she is the full package, and I could really see her going all the way.
Hmm. We're gonna say that about all the first 5 queens, though. Let's be real.
Well, yes, I was.
Hmm. Well, let's talk about our international queens here because I think this is we might have a little less to say about them because, like I said, they're competitive time in the episodes if we really kind of think about it. Like, there's only really like between most of them like 3 to 4 episodes that they had, so it's really going to be kind of I feel like a learning, growing experience for a few of them. I know 1 or 2 of them are gonna have. Um, their time to shine here, and maybe that'll be Miss Ivory Glaze from season 3 of Down Under. She placed 9th place out of 10 queens. She is one of those rare queens that goes 2 episodes, doesn't get a win, but you know what she does do? She ends up in the bottom twice. And not only does she end up in the bottom twice, she actually had a 3rd episode because she infamously passed out before the lip sync to the point where Rue decided that they were going to cancel the lip sync at the end of the episode and hold it at the beginning of the next episode so that way she could have some time to recover before making her, lip sync. Imagine him doing that for Ivory Glaze and not doing that for his favorite transsexual Bosco. Anyway, the 2 challenges that she was in the bottom for were a roomix challenge and a design challenge, but she's back. She's ready to prove herself. And I'm kind of not sure how I feel about this look. I want to like it more than I do. But there's something about like maybe the fabric choices, the bottom of this, like the drippingness to it is really kind of weird to me. Like I kind of like the fabric she chose to do it in, but I don't know. There's something about just it in general that I don't know if I'm vibing with it now that I'm really like sitting here looking at it. But um maybe 10th. I'm assuming maybe put her 10th, maybe 9th, Jack. I don't know. I wouldn't put her
I put her.
dead last, but I'm not
No,
putting
no, I
her
couldn't put her dead last.
very
I put
high
her
up.
ninth. I put her ninth.
Okay.
I have to tell you that you were kind of spot on. The white fabric at the bottom was pretty cheap looking. I mean, you can stone the white fabric, sure, like she did, but it wasn't going to hold up to this gold fabric. And
So it looks like a
what you
bed
were
sheet.
saying about the shape of this gold fabric and how it looks like it's like dripping down, it's almost like rounded cylinder ends, just kind of like we did this because it's different. And I just didn't understand the story with it. Like, why would you do this with those things? Also, her arm, the yellow to white kind of thing on the tight or bodysuit that she has on there, I'm not really sure what that's giving. But she doesn't look bad. She looks good. It's just when you're looking at everything as a whole, it's kind of like someone cut her top half from her bottom half, like the right where that middle part is, where you can see the clear divide. If you
Hmm.
just showed me the top part, I'd be like, oh, it's gonna be sickening. It's like, do you know back in the day when you had to put out those, you had to print something off, and halfway through when you were printing off, the ink started to run out. That's
Yeah.
what it's giving. It's very much like, oh, the full outfit didn't get completed, girl. like I was like, oh, error, like
There's also
404.
something about like the bottom parts. They look like she used like her fingers to
Yes, it
like
looks like fingers.
yeah.
It
I
looks
don't
like
I don't know.
fingers.
It looks weird. I don't know. I can't get into
And the
it. I
shoes
don't
are very
know.
basic too. So I was just like,
It's
whatever. It's not terrible. It's just it's weird that she did so well, and then at the hips it just all went to something. I don't know if this is a new design, a new fashion style that's going on. I don't know if this is part of her culture, and maybe I'm being a hater, but I'm not really a big fan. And if she was going to do these like finger looking things, if she had used way more material, so like there were just layers upon layers upon layers of like all these fingers kind of thing, it probably would look better. And
mhm.
honestly, she'd probably just get rid of the white. if there was more of that, because then we wouldn't have that and it would look better. But honestly, just didn't like the cut of this specifically. Now,
what do you think about her chances? Do you like her chances, Jack?
No. So, I said redemption. I said redemption, and then we went to Ivory Glaze, and I was like, "This is the girl that probably needs redemption the most," and I'm not sure she's gonna get it. I could see this being a very early out for her, and I don't want to hate on her. She's a young queen. She maybe needs some more time to really get it together, but am I excited she's given this opportunity? Yes. I hope she does something with it. I hope she can at least show herself more to the world. I don't know that I want to see, or if we will see anything that's like that great from her, but everyone deserves a second chance. So as far as what she's got, we don't know. We really don't, because like you said, she literally went home in the second episode, but actually was there till the third episode because of her having fainting and whatnot. So we don't know. We don't know what she's going to give us.
I mean, that's a common theme for, I think, like a lot of these girls, especially the international ones. We can go to the next one for Miss Kitty Space from France too. Again, I feel like this is gonna be a very common thing that we're gonna be hearing here, that they have no wins and they were in the bottom twice. Kitty was in the bottom here for the Rubik's and the Improv Challenge. She did have one episode though where she, I believe, was safe, maybe high. I don't remember where exactly she there, but yeah, she unfortunately again was a pretty early out on her season. But as far as everything goes here, I do think Kitty. Also, too, I think Kitty and the next queen we were talking about, you felt very similar as far as like their background, where they grew up. You know what I mean? Like they were giving very similar vibes as far as kind of what they were asserting in everything. But because she was very much so like talking about the fact that she was in the cabaret, so that's a big thing about her drag. I mean, that's a big thing about, I feel like, a lot of French drag. But I mean, definitely that sex appeal is definitely something that I could kind of see her edging into. She did say that though during her season, though, she was a lot in her head based off the fact that she was having dysphoria, based on the fact that she was wanting to transition, and now she's in the process of doing that. I can see her being maybe that queen that comes into her own now, because I mean, how many other girls have we seen where they're not actually feeling themselves? Miss Kylie, Sonique Love in their first season, and then now they come back after actually being able to present who they really are, and then they come in and they slay. So I could see Katie Space maybe being a surprise out of these the international queens here. But like I said, we don't really have too much to go on as far as her initial season, unfortunately. We don't have too much to go on I mean, a lot of these international girls. But we can talk about her look, though. Her look is a look. I could see this well, it's one of those things where it's like it's very much so giving me the same thing that like Ivory Glaze was doing, because it's like I really like the top, like it's printing. I'm like, okay, I don't mind, and then it like gets like midway down, and you're like, okay, what's could come beneath that, and then you get beneath that, and you're like, oh, that's what was there. Yeah, and
the ink cartridge left as soon as her lips were on there. They were like,
she's no. I think there's one other queen I might put last. I think she's second.
No, I put her last. This outfit is such a mess. Mama, this is hot garbage. I'm so sorry.
I like the headpiece. Well, actually, the more I'm looking at it in here, it is looking a little.
Baby, even the shoulder pads.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
cardboard
okay, yeah.
Straight up just shoved it in there really quickly. Like I don't know.
The boots. That's
Girl,
fine. I didn't want to give the other queen the boot out of the other ones, so that's fine. We could say she's the boot.
Girl, she's not the boot. She's the like. Is there a word for boot? Like this is giving La Reed bags kind of level of boots. Like this is the golden boot. Not only does she have on golden boots, baby, she won the golden boot twice. Like this look is so bad. I don't even know how to start. with assessing this. She has something in her hand that has a pink string. Doesn't match shit. Just okay? I don't care. I'm not going to talk about that because it's not actually part of the look. The high gold boot is probably the best part of this outfit other than the headpiece. And honestly, I don't know what's going on with the small amount of fringe on the back of it. And I don't care to. I just wanted to throw it out. Truly, the headpiece part was kind of fun. And then you could see a couple of the little like tassel parts or whatever hanging out. There were different lengths. I was like, someone freehand scissored this, it looks like, and that's fine. That's fine. But then, as soon as you get down past the tassels from her hair and her beautiful face, you're like, so
Now
she's
you're making me take back everything that I just said.
You have to, because let me tell you, she went to her kitchen, she got the strainer, she cut it out, spray painted it gold, put it on one of her titties, right? And then she said, this is then gonna like clip on with some buttons because the outfit tore out of the Spirit Halloween bag that she had gotten it out of. And then she said, you know what, I'll just use some spare parts from the Spirit Halloween Wonder Woman bag for the bottom section. And then she said, oh, I've got this piece of tool. It was the only thing I can afford that was in my cabinet after I sold the rest of the strainer for a little bit of cash. Like, I don't know. She picked up some cardboard to put on those shoulders. Baby, there was nothing going on. She said, oh, look, these red gloves I'm going to steal from the nightclub that someone left there. Let me just throw some tassels from a random flag that I stole off and cover it up and make it look good. I don't even want to talk about what's around her waist. I just don't think anyone should have to even talk about this. This is like, if this is your promo look, girl, just tell me that, like, please just go do the, like, trash, or what is it called? When they do the, like, the dollar store challenge, to make it into an outfit. You would
Not
do it
saying
better.
drag on a dime.
Drag on a Dime would look better than this. Okay, Drag on a Dime looks better than this. And it's not even close. You know what? The only thing in here that was redeeming in some way or shape or form was I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? Those cardboard shoulder pieces kind of remind me of that cardboard look that we saw the girl do from the Philippines. That I was like, yeah, you did deserve that win, baby. And I was like, maybe she just found that, cut off a couple pieces from it that were left over in the workroom. Maybe that's why those are there. That was the best part, and the cuffs on her arms, to cover up the holes in them. Maybe, I don't know.
Ooh.
Like,
So what you're saying is Kitty Space is gonna win? Kitty Space is our winner?
Kitty Space is winning the double golden boot, the official double golden boot that has just begun. Yes, baby, she is a winner.
Oh no! Oh no!
She won. I
Is
don't know
she a
what she
prediction for
won.
first boot?
I surprisingly no.
Okay. Have we
I
got
feel like
to
she's
your
gonna be the
prediction?
Joella, where we're like, why wasn't she first boot, and then she'll be second boot? But
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. For
ooh,
that. Well, when we
well,
get to your first boot, you tell me. Unless we already got to
let's move on, because
that. Okay.
I don't want to have
Yeah,
to look at this any
let's
longer.
go ahead and move on here. Let's talk about Madame Yoko from Belgique season 2. She's 8th place out of 9 queens. Again, no wins. She did have 3 episodes though. One was an elimination episode, but she had 3 episodes. 3 episodes. And she was only the bottom
Go off,
once.
3.
For the girl group challenge. So, again, I would say, I feel like since they kind of, they do have very similar up, I think she did say as well, too, she was also Vietnamese, much like Kitty Space, too. I think that's actually kind of really cool that you kind of have these 2 queens from different countries that basically kind of had, like, a very similar background in how they grew up and how they do their drag. And I think we'll probably see a difference or some sort of like storyline between the two where they kind of realize that they're similar, but like one of the two I feel like has to pop over the two, right? And initially I was gonna say Kitty Space, but now after having this conversation, I'm gonna say maybe that's Madame Yoko.
Girl, let me not do it. I love this headpiece. The hair as the mountains kind of thing is so smart with the sun rising in the back. I about died. And it was almost enough for me not to read the rest of the outfit because I was like, oh, look, a kimono kind of outfit, like over her bodysuit. You know, I was like, oh, that's smart. She's taking off her kimono. She's gonna fight. And that is as far as we got because then I had to be realistic and I snapped back to reality and I said, baby, this bodysuit sucks. So
Yeah,
this
it's not very
bodysuit is
good.
misproportioned, it's misshaped, it does not look good. The belt around her is just to hide the fact that it's only a bodysuit. And she put like what looked like almost some shorts on top of it. I don't know what was going on. The pattern is weird. It doesn't make sense at all. Girl forgot the rest of the outfit and just put on a random bodysuit. The chain around her neck, with the chains coming off, I don't know what that's about. Like, there are just all these different elements that don't really go together in here. And the golden boot, baby, the golden boot that's shining back rainbow colors lights to us, like the prism had just accepted the light and the light came out, you know. It was such a mess. I was like, oh, she looks good. And then the computer started printing the rest of the body and I said, oh, well, here we are
This,
again.
this is what
This is
happens when you use your modem, your dial-up modem, Jack, to print out these promo looks. You start
girl, I'm
getting
pretty sure
excited, and
dial
then
up
it
AOL
gets all the way to
was
the end, and it
better.
just stuns.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This was a mess. I loved her hands. I loved her hairpiece and her hair was fine. No, her hair was good. Her hair was great, actually. Let me not take that
Yeah,
from her because that's
the
the other
hair
thing she
brings it up. The hair brings that up, and the kimono is pretty
Oh, for
too. The
sure.
kimono is actually
The
beautiful.
kimono is pretty,
It's really
but
pretty.
again,
I
it
like it.
just feels like it's really lacking any kind of identity or what we're going on here. Because I was like, oh, this like Asian mountain kind of scene. It's very beautiful. It makes sense. I love what's going on, and that really distracted me from for a second from like everything else. It's like, oh, it's a good look, and I went back to look at it and said, wait a minute, I must have just been looking at the face up because this is a mess.
Well, I was gonna say, lucky that her, hair is small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains. But too much for that, Jack. Do you expect her
Yeah.
to do well this season?
No.
Ooh, ooh. Okay, between Kitty and Madame Yoko, who's gonna go further?
Madame Yoko's gonna be third place. Kitty's gonna be second.
Okay. Oh, the
In terms
second
of
and
going
third
home.
place. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Second and third place is
Okay.
in terms of
Second and
going
third
home.
place. Okay.
So I
Okay.
guess like we're gonna be looking at what 11th and 12th place, or no, 10th and 11th place because it's 12 girls.
I mean,
So
at
they
this
have 10th and 11th
point,
on lock.
it would kind of seem that you're right. The last three girls, I feel like, might be that are contention for first boot. But I don't want to. I don't want to judge a book by its cover or a track record by a season that happened prior. So, let's talk about another queen here on our cast here, and she is entering again this group as the international queen that has the highest placement in her original season, and that is Miss Siam Phusri or Pussy. She is from again Thailand season 3, seventh place out of 11 queens. I think she actually was doing pretty well for the most part. I can't really remember the track record. I know the girls hated her a lot for some reason. Like the girls did not like her, but that felt like more like it was like more like a xenophobic thing than it had to do with like her herself. Um, but like I do feel like I remember her having some pretty strong looks. I also feel like again her track record I think was a little bit stronger than I feel like I remember it being. She was only in the bottom once here for the Rusical, and I think the thing about CM that I really liked is that she doesn't she definitely feels like she's one of those girls that you can kind of say whatever you want her in the comment section. She's gonna still have a positive attitude and kind of work towards things however she needs to. However, other people kind of interpret her like she's not going to be bothered by that. So I kind of like that determination I guess I could see in her. I could actually see her doing really well because I feel like her style just the fact that she leans so much into her Thai heritage, and I feel like Thai especially the culture is just so much opulence and just like just based even just in cultural significance alone, right? I've been to Thailand before too, like a gorgeous country. Just I love everything when it comes to the aesthetic, so her incorporating that into her aesthetic and kind of owning that completely I really like. So I do really like her look here. So as far as someone that I do think the middle part, the the corset and the bikini and the small little bejazzled uh, tucking garment, I guess that she has on the front of her look here. Like I love the aesthetic. I love the idea behind it. So it's a situation here where yeah, there could be more clothing, but I feel like what she does have, she makes up like with the gigantic sleeves, with the details on the headdress, the details on the collar, the details on the bubbies, the details on the shoes. Like like there's a lot of leg, yes, but like there's also a lot of actual like design here to it. So I would put her in the top half. I think maybe slightly lower than the than where you have. I'm assuming she's probably, if she's not, I don't think she's your international girl that you have at the top, but she could maybe be like fifth. If she's not fifth, maybe like eighth.
She's the international girl I have at the top.
Okay,
Um,
good.
she's my second place in terms of looks, just right behind Khianna, right above Arizona Brandy. What I thought was so interesting about this look is it was so branded so well. I loved that it had an idea, it had this concept, it was utilized well. The fabric looks expensive, the shoes look expensive, the headpiece, the collar, the breast pieces all looked expensive. The one part that maybe not doesn't look as expensive is that like mini corset area towards her nether regions maybe isn't the most, but honestly, I felt like it actually worked because I liked that we saw the continuation of the gold with some silver, and in this time, in part of it, we saw the like silvery white take over and the bottom midsection trimmed by the gold. And I think one thing that was really funny was that she brought this. It looks like a pure red kind of covering to put underneath the golden embellishments, I would say, on there. And there's one thing about a skinny girl who doesn't wear a lot of things. This girl wore a lot of clothing for having her leg exposed. But another thing, she has gorgeous legs.
Hmm.
Her legs look taller than like my body kind of thing, right? Like her legs look like they're smokestacks on top of buildings. Like that's how large her legs look here. She looks beautiful, she's sickening, she's stunning. This is the girl that I think, if any international queen outside of the Philippines has a chance to make it to the top four, it's her. It's Siam Phusri. She is killing it, and also her sword has her name on it. I was like, you better, bitch. You better. You better love
Hmm.
yourself, and you better show everyone else that, yeah, I am that bitch. And she showed them, I am that bitch. And the red hair was beautiful. Even if you don't see much of it, the head, it was just beautiful. Everything here was mwah. Like I wanted more. I want to see more of her. I said, ding ding ding, you're a winner, baby.
I think you're right. I do think she does have the most potential. I don't think I put her in my top four just because I think there's two other international queens I might like a little bit more because I went with a top two of two Filipino and two international queens. She would
Hmm.
probably be like sixth if I was to like preseason rank just for
Yeah,
whatever.
that's fair.
But I totally understand why you would put her in a top four situation as well too. Like I would not be surprised here if she's one of those girls at the end that possibly could steal this from a Filipino girl. Absolutely. Um, but I think mostly, again, why I'm feeling some way is because our next queen is personally one of my favorite queens, and she comes from one of my most beloved seasons of all time, and that is Miss Suki Doll, ninth place from Canada season two. Again, no wins on her track record here. Did go home in the snatch game, that was her only bottom, but we know a lot about Suki Doll, even though she hasn't really had like a lot of time on Drag Race necessarily, because her fashions, her designs have kind of, I would say, like outlived her to some degree, right? The fact that so many queens come to her to design their looks for the show, I think is going to I out of all the girls in this show, other than I'd say Khianna, that I'm most excited to see the runway package. Suki Doll is that other girl that I'm so excited to see her runway. I'm a little worried about her when it comes to acting because again she's the bottom in Snatch Game. A few of these girls were bottom in the Snatch Game here, so it could be a situation here where she might eke through in a situation like that because of so many other girls kind of lacking that is their strength, but she also is, I would say, probably the maybe the girl that's giving me the most like congenial of the cast as well too. I think that could definitely work out for her if it's a situation where they have to eliminate each other. So I don't know. I have a lot of love for Suki Doll just because she's a kind queen. She's charismatic to me. I feel like she's just easily to root for, easily lovable. So I'm very excited to see what Suki's going to bring this season. I'm a little disappointed in her promo look, but I think that's only just because I have her such a like a high standard. But no, this would be if I guess if we're gonna go based off Jack's rating here, I'm assuming because I feel like you put one international queen high, and then it was all the Filipino girls, and then there's like a gap of like maybe two, and then Viñas. So I'm gonna assume she's gonna be one of those two girls in that gap.
She is 8th place. She's right below Venus.
Yes.
And it's not that I don't like the look. I love the headpiece. I love all the the chains and the dangling pieces from it. I think it went really well. I think that was really on brand. I just felt like the bodysuit was a little cheap looking, and the fabric of the cape wasn't anything to really write home about. I don't know. It looked very meh. She looks great, but as far as when I compare her to other girls, I just wasn't as inspired by her, and I think it came down to the bodysuit and the cape just not being as gorgeous as I kind of expected from her. Now, that
Mhm.
being said, does she look amazing? Yes. Would she get a 2 easily? But for me, she just wasn't as good as two of the international girls was. She was the third international girl in terms of where they ranked, so she didn't do bad.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Do you see her going far this season?
Probably like fifth or sixth, or she could be like one of the international queens that could actually make it to the top four. But the problem is, she feels like a wild card.
Hmm.
Like, I think she's very talented at certain things, and like you mentioned, the acting is not one of them really. But she might have grown since then. So I'm not giving up on her. I think she'll at least make 5 episodes in, at least, or
I
she could
think
go
she
all the
made it
way.
through the actual, if I remember correctly, um, the order of um, season two. I didn't they have a musical, and then they also had like that Scream challenge too. I can't remember if she was there for the Scream challenge, but I know they had a musical, so at least she could get. And well, she was in the bottom in that as well too. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I remember her group
The musical was a
was in the
mess in that
bottom.
season,
Yeah, but
and
they live synced it though, right? That was one of the ones they live synced.
yeah, and it was a mess. And I still kind of disagree with some of the placements, but the point is that Suki Doll, she only made it 4 episodes in her original season. She's extremely talented, though. She she is maybe like I think the most up in the air where she could place kind of people in this competition, just because I feel like she's one of the stronger of the international girls in my opinion. But at the same time, because it is kind of feeling like Philippine queens versus the international girls, it still feels like we are going to get that 2-2 split. So I'm not sure if she will end up being one of the two girls.
Hmm. No, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Let's go ahead and talk about our second to last queen here, and that is Miss Ting Wong from UK season one. I'm actually very excited to see something here. She was one of the people I was initially very fond of on the UK one cast. I was very sad about her trajectory because once again, uh, 4 episodes, 0 wins, but hey, 2 bottoms, so she won a lip sync. And her bottoms here were in the design challenge and in snatch game, and the snatch game actually kind of surprised me because initially she gave me a lot more comedy queen vibes than she ended up presenting in the snatch game. And she is very proud of the fact that I do think she is the first girl of Asian descent outside of in an international franchise outside of Thailand. Because I think Thailand was before UK, right? Or did UK come before
I don't
Thailand?
fully remember.
I don't fully remember either. But that's what she's saying. So that's on her. So if
But
she's wrong,
also, like,
that's on her.
Thailand doesn't really like count in a way because, like,
It
you
is kind
know,
of a different show. Kind of. They do kind of
it
like a
is
different
different, but also
format.
like UK is not like an Asian country, right? So it
Hmm.
feels a little different to compare those two,
Right.
um, in that sense. Now,
Hmm.
but I do think she's a great queen. She was one of my faves in that season. I was not a fan of how she went out. I have hope for her, but I do think she's one of those girls that's going to go early on, unfortunately. She's like I love this girl. I hope she goes far, but like in my heart of hearts, I know she's probably not going to go that far. And so, like, I'm not going to get my hopes up to be like hurt by this.
Without a
um,
better use of terms here, because I don't have anybody else to say it who would match this description. She is my Joella of the season, where the girl that I'm like, I really like her personality. I think she's a lot of fun. I think she's going to bring a lot of fun to the season, but I don't think she's going to perform at
I'm
all.
going to tell you something crazy about this. Ting Wong was like my 10th place in terms of the look because the look isn't that good, right?
No, look at
It's
that.
kind of just a basic ass outfit. The shoes are bad. The but the theme is there, right? Like there's a theme. She's on theme the whole time.
I mean,
It's not good,
I don't
but
know what the theme is, but sure, it's
it's
consistent. She
it's
was
these like
initially my
white.
bottom look, so
Okay, here's the thing with this theme. It is very much like these like base on her headpiece, kind of white feathery things. So she kind of has this like white flowing clothy feathery. It's supposed to be like looking feathery or fur like kind of thing, right? And then she put what looks like cotton balls on the shoe
yes, the
straps and
cotton
everything.
balls,
And I was
the
like,
shoes. I don't get it.
that's really bad. But when I took off the shoes, like I was like, okay, so it's not as bad, right? And then I add the
But
shoes
then
back on, I'm like,
why did she put like the cotton balls like in between the strappy
yes, I
things?
know, I know. It looks terrible. It looks a mess. But the other two girls below her look like bigger messes, so she was bumped up, right? Like I was like, "Oh, you look so great from the shoulders up." Uh, um, like, but I after really analyzing and deciding who deserves the worst spot placement, her outfit makes more sense conceptually, even if the execution is bad, just like the other twos, than the other twos. So Madame
I
Yoko and Kitty
mean,
Space rightfully earn their spot below Something
I
Wong.
think I would put something
Um,
below Madame Yoko.
I
Kitty
can't
could
do
still be
that.
last, but I get it.
I can't
I
do
mean,
that
I get
because
it.
if it wasn't,
The
I can see
shoes, girl.
good elements.
The cotton balls. The cotton balls on the
The
shoes
shoe
are
cotton
sending
balls are
me.
so
It's
tragic,
sending
but Madame
me.
Yoko only had the headpiece and then try to distract me with everything else. And I was like, too much of stuff that just didn't make sense. These things all make sense together except for the shoes. So I was like, if only one element's bad in terms of doesn't make sense together, it doesn't mean that it's a good look. It just means that they work together. If it's just the shoes, which it mostly is, like I'm not saying this look is amazing, but the look
I
makes sense
mean,
together. Minus the shoes.
I guess if you're saying if we're judging this based on the cropped look that we're gonna see on the wiki every week, then yeah, sure.
No, I'm based upon what the whole outfit is giving, and I'm sorry, nothing looks that bad other than the shoes on this. Like nothing looks terrible. This is just a safe. It was on the runway. No one remembers it ever again. But I felt the same way about Madame Yoko's. That the only thing I remembered was her hair and the kimono, which
I feel
wasn't
like the
even a bad
kimono
enough thing.
alone is already better than like everything I'm seeing here. But
But the hair on the kimono
we
didn't really
it's
come
not it's
together in a
honestly
way.
nothing that we need to like. discuss that in depth for because it really doesn't
I'm just
matter,
saying.
honestly.
She
Um,
is the heart of the season, though, in my
yes,
opinion.
she's giving Nina West.
She has better fashion than Nina. She doesn't have great fashion, but she got better than Nina on her best day. So I'm gonna give her
Right.
that.
That's true. Okay. Well,
Let's
let's
get to
talk
our
about our
last girl,
last queen.
though.
I'm very excited to talk about our last queen here because I think she's one of the international queens that I'm actually very excited that she decided to wait to come back for this kind of iteration of a show versus kind of coming back in like maybe an All Stars where she kind of maybe would have been thrown away. And that's Miss Yuhua. No more Hamasaki. She threw that away. Just Yuha now. As y'all know, season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race US, she got 12th place out of 14 queens. 0 wins, shocking, and she went home on that terrible dating app challenge, which, I mean, like, can we really blame her getting eliminated on that because that challenge sucked? But, like, what
The correct bottom two wasn't even selected, so
I mean, I honestly, I haven't rewatched season 10 in a hot minute.
she deserved bottom two.
But, you know,
But she might have won the lip sync for not against Mayhem.
yeah, that's very
I'm
true.
just saying.
Well, I'm very excited to kind of see where Yuha has kind of her journey has taken her because you know she's a big presence on YouTube with her bootleg confessions. That's what it is, right? Bootleg confessions, something like that. Bootleg opinions. I think that's what it is. But you
Like
know,
opinions.
yeah, she. What did I say before? I don't even know. Anyway, so like she does have her YouTube channel going, so clearly like she's out and about. She's been doing her thing for a hot minute. Season 10 was literally over 7 years ago. So even being an early out on that, she's had so much time to grow and do so much other things that I don't think anybody else in this cast really can say. I think this didn't even season 10 come out before UK one, so she's been on the show longer than even something. So like yeah, like
Maybe.
granted she's been one of the, maybe she did not have a lot of time on the show, but like that doesn't definitely say anything about what she has done off the show. And I think she really could be in a lot of ways like the Manny Morphosis of this cast, you know, as far as the viralness of what she could be doing and saying and whatnot. That's kind of what she's giving me. I feel like there's also, without trying to, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. But I'll just be real here. The U.S. queens in these like UK versus the world and whatnot. A lot of times they are kind of thrown away. Like they're there to kind of bring people in a lot of ways, not necessarily to win. I would say, but I could see Yuha maybe being that girl that they brought on here to possibly give the Filipino girls a run for their money because I really love her look here. She also was giving me another girl that was like feeling very like I'm gonna be inspired a little bit by some Mortal Kombat here, but I'm also gonna take in my culture, like and kind of throw them together. And like this gown is amazing. I love just the train itself. Like it looks so amazing in the promo, right? I love the mixture she has going on with like the black the yellow fabrics with the black polka dots giving a little bit of the bee, but also the rest of the garment is very traditional with like the dragon and everything on it. Like it just this is a really gorgeous garment. This is really really good. um I really have a lot of high hopes for Yuha. I could definitely see her being easily the international girl that they think will go the furthest. And I hate to say it, mostly because she's probably from the U.S. and for whatever reason,
Well,
I have to be honest about that. Like it is what it is. Um, like it's unless they're gonna Mayhem Miller her and send her home first, like UK versus the World 2. Like I think she's here for the long haul, personally. So
I think Yuha is definitely the girl I expect to see in the top four that is not a Philippine queen. Um, but also, I love this look. The only thing is, I have a big um, difference of opinion where I want the yellow and black polka dotted thing to just be gone. I want
Okay,
to just take that off. I know that she's
fair.
probably trying to cover more of her skin this way, but I really would have just preferred um, either a one arm sleeve or a different kind of shawl, right? Like something that matched more. Because what's really interesting is that if you notice throughout her whole outfit, this is so cute. Her tassels are everywhere. It's like it's like the kind of the inspiration here. She's got the dragons, as you mentioned, very traditional. So it's white, gold accented, and these gold tassels everywhere. And so to bring in this yellow black was kind of a little strange. I mean, yes, she has black hair, yes, the tassels are yellowy gold, so I can see it. It's fine. I'm not a fan of this like shawl or whatever's going on here. That being said, if she took that off and put on just a shawl made out of that white fabric, I think I would like that more. And
Okay.
she looks beautiful. She looks amazing. This train, bitch, you know I love a girl who has like 17 yards of fabric, following her on the back. So that's a statement piece, baby. That's like saying, I'm here, I'm ready for this shit. And one thing I think I want to tap on is she did wait to come back to the show. Maybe she wasn't or was asked. I don't know ever, but this feels like a great time for her because she hasn't been here in a while. I think she's the queen that hasn't been on the show for the longest out of the whole cast. And she's still pretty young comparatively, right? And
Mhm.
if there's anyone I could see really represent and like give us a multitude of different things, it's Yuha. She's funny, but she also is a great seamstress. And clearly she has stepped up her design aspects of this, because I'm sure she made this herself or had a lot of implication with it. The only bad thing I really don't like about it is there's one like seam down the front and then a that yellow polka dot thing that I wish wasn't there. That is the only thing I really want to critique with this. I love what she's done with this outfit. I love her hair. You can kind of see the hairpins in the back as well if you look close enough. I love all the little details. I love that she has like all these bracelets and stuff on. I just think it's fun. I think it's so like well done, and she has these multitude on like the sticking out of her hips. She has like multitudes of them, like there's like three of them all with like their little tassels and stuff. This is a well put together concept. This look is amazing. Like 9.5 out of 10. If this is what I'm going to get from Yuha, like I'm so excited. I hope she makes it to the end with Bernie and Khianna personally. Like, you know, this
Okay.
is who I'd
I was gonna
want
say,
if
Jack.
anyone really represent.
You said Bernie, Khianna. Whose rest would be your top four? Because we're gonna do top four predictions now. Bernie, Khianna, and
See, this spot is probably going to go to CM.
okay. I feel that.
Like, I I could see Suki there as well, but I think CM might be my pick though.
I mean, I
It's
can
not that I
argue
don't
that.
like Suki. It's just yeah, I think that they have the highest chances, and I could be completely wrong, but I like this. I like the idea of what this would be.
Hmm. I mean, I would probably edge Suki Doll personally, just again, personal, just personal taste. But I could totally see CM there. I'll actually will agree with you here, and we'll say our top four predictions officially will be Bernie, Khianna, CM, and Yuha. I like that. I like that. Well, Jack, we have a few days until the official premiere of the Slaysian Royale here. But do you have any parting words, any parting thoughts about the season as it begins next week?
Can we not have an 8-way lip sync for the crown? um, no, I hope we have an episode or two with all of the girls at least. I hope there's at least one episode or two of no one going home. I know that might be a little unrealistic to hope for, but the Philippines has had that happen before. I think they've been very fair when they've given double Shantays, and I think Mama Pao is one of the best hosts of the show. So if she gets to be making decisions like this, and I would be very happy. I think we could see an amazing season. This could go down in the records as one of the best seasons of all time, honestly. I think there's a very diverse cast here as far as placements, as far as girls from different international seasons. Obviously, we have 5 Filipino queens, but like that's the whole point. It's in the Philippines and it's the Slaysian Royale. I think this is a great idea. I would love to see possibly other areas maybe do that. Like maybe we have a Latin season like this if Slaysian Royale goes over extremely well. I would love to see something like this.
Mm-hmm. I
And
totally see
also,
this being something that a bunch of other franchises pick up. Like, I think they've been asking for an all Latin season, like an all Latin All Stars for a really long time. So I feel like this would be a good branching point for that too.
yeah, I definitely agree. I also think that I believe it was correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was confirmed that we are getting Drag Race Japan. So
Yes. Hmm.
if this is like a kind of precursor before we get that, and that could be another season that we have girls come for maybe Slaysian Royale too. That's exciting. Like I love that we're getting a few more franchises coming back and doing things now. This is a great like introduction possibly to bring more people from the community over to watch some of these international seasons, especially like the girls who they can root for from their original seasons or their like hometown seasons essentially, right? Like the US queens rooting for Yuhua and actually giving all of the rest of the Asian countries like Thailand and Philippines their chance to actually watch their seasons. And so this could be really good for everyone and it could help maybe Drag Race Japan go extremely well, and I have high hopes for that.
Hmm. Absolutely. There's a lot of global all stars upside here, I feel like, in like the reverse way, kind of. Just because I do think coming off of season three and just the high that the show has ended on in the previous season, like, I just feel like Slaysian Royale is going to have so much energy and so much love and care to it. This feels like the season that we really kind of need right now. So I agree with you. I'm very excited, and as always, can't wait to see how this turns out. And hopefully, y'all can't either. Especially if you lasted this long. Thank you so much for listening again, and make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and comment below on your top four queens for the Slaysian Royale, because we'd love to hear your thoughts on the season when it begins this Wednesday. So until next time, and on behalf of my co-caster QuackrrJack, this is Renegayde signing out. But remember, keep spilling that tea, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
I can't end it. I can't end it.